Radio.
Welcome to another episode of The Adventures of Danny and Mike, wherein the fellas discuss porn stashes, barn games, and stiff neighbors. All that and special guest Carl Arnheiter. Now play the music, Crawl Space.
Just eat anything and fart and light them on fire. I think it has to be methane kind of foods.
Pat methane or?
Yeah, I'm not sure methane is a word. Is methane a word?
Yeah, but, why not?
Yeah, because the Y is hyphenated.
Can you name a Pat Metheny song? No.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, I can't.
You don't know any Pat Metheny songs? I probably know more about Pat Benatar songs.
I know a lot of Pat Metheny songs.
Go ahead.
I can't tell you what they are, but I could point out Pat Metheny on the radio immediately. Because he has a very distinct guitar tone.
I don't think that counts.
Yes, it does count.
So I will just say this. Welcome to the Adventures of Danny and Mike. To my right, Mr. Danny Tamborelli.
You salty son of a bitch.
And to his right, Mr. Michael C. Marona. That's double C.
My mom doesn't want to hear me curse on the podcast.
She's made that comment. Great. And our guest for the entire hour.
Is that true?
Being such a lovely host, Mr. Carl Arnheiter. Man, I every time, then I look at it and then I'm like, oh, I'm going to screw it up.
You're not alone, but you nailed it.
Yeah, you should be a public school teacher.
Maybe that's
the way you screw up those last names.
Well, you know, it's like a lot of pressure.
Ouch. Wow. Well, we just lost the public schools.
No, I love
this from the guy who's
teachers.
disappointing his mother.
Who was a teacher.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. But why? So she's listened to episodes. Why does she listen? We've talked about this, but why?
But why?
We've talked about this, but
warn
why?
her? Warn her what?
To not listen.
Herzog.
Brother.
Jack Reacher.
Okay. I guess that's a no.
Yeah.
So you're going to tone it down this episode? There's not going to be any golden Mike Marona curse words, or you're not going to talk about farts? Or
that used to be my nickname was Golden Mike back when I was a bike messenger in 1996.
Is that true?
I was a bike messenger and I lived in the Lower East Side and rode, and I made a couple of trips over the Brooklyn Bridge at some point. I was mostly working in Manhattan. And I made a couple of trips over the Brooklyn Bridge, excuse me. And I made a drop, and one was a rush, and I made it back. And the dispatcher called me Golden Mike.
Wow. So it stuck. I'm glad I could revive that for you, your glory days.
Not too many people called me that. It was like, one of those.
It sounds like just one person called you that.
No, because somebody else found out about it after that.
Oh, so it got around.
Do you want it to catch fire again, or you just want to let it smolder and die? I feel like it's the start of something new.
No, it's more like Centralia, PA. I'd rather have
Golden Mike
permanently smolder underground as opposed to
Golden Mike.
Flares up.
Right,
so
exactly. It's in the news again.
Yeah, we're due for a Golden Mike revival by your Centralia analogy.
It's true. I had a good run. That was a fun time. I got sick. I got hit by a car. It was a good job.
Wow. Did you have a mohawk then?
I had messed up hair. I might have had a mohawk then.
I feel like I saw you once.
I mean, there were
on a bike with a mohawk.
I mean, that could have been me, but there were plenty of dudes with mohawks on bikes back then.
Not too many ginger
in the 90s.
No, but I was pretty sure it was you.
Okay, it could definitely have been me.
You have a very distinct face.
Yeah. I didn't have a mohawk for that long, so
maybe it was the 2000s.
Could have been me. Yeah.
On 23rd Street there was a market on 23rd and 7th.
Oh, before they built all those buildings there? It was like a flea market?
Well, it was still a building, but it was no, it was a market on 23rd and 7th, across from that like Gray's Papaya place. Huh. Anyway, I saw you pull up once, and I was like, "Oh yeah, he has a mohawk."
It was kind of like a badass pull up, like
you totally skidded in. What was cool about it was, it was badass,
definitely
and then
me.
you jumped off, and the bike slid,
and you just kept walking,
and then righted itself. It like slid and parked itself.
Wow!
As you cruised in,
it could have been me
on your left leg.
And then what theme song was playing when you?
That was a perfect time for you to use the A-Team song, because that's just what I thought you would be thinking about.
Yeah.
So I don't know why you went to Fat Albert.
Was that Fat
That's
Albert?
No. Sanford and Son. Sorry.
Similar.
Sorry, I got them confused.
That's how you get kicked
You
off
damn
this
dummy.
property.
What's that?
Misquoting TV shows.
You're a damn
Carl's
dummy.
not going to stand. I got your back. Carl's not going to stand for that.
Okay, well, I got excited. They're both bass lines I really like, and I got confused.
Arnheiter ain't got time for that.
That name just lends itself to so many things.
I feel like you should be like
Arnheiter, take a zero.
I feel like you should be like a despot or like a military, like lead a coup.
Corporal Arnheiter.
Yeah, Corporal Arnheiter and the 5th Corps detached from the rest of the army and led a flanking maneuver on his own men.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
It was a coup. It was a coup. It was a coup.
You've hit it. I am not related to this guy, but there's a book called The Arnheiter Affair about the only... His name was like Marcus Aurelius Arnheiter. And it was
his parents really crammed him into that job.
What goes well with Arnheiter aside from nothing? Oh, I know, Marcus Aurelius.
He's going to be a great general or a famous failure.
Yeah, and he like mutinied in the Vietnam War and like wouldn't do something. I never finished the book. I fell asleep. But yeah, that's out there. And I once got an email that was like, "Hey, are you related to Marcus Aurelius Arnheiter?" Because that, and it like went on and on.
That'd be cool.
Were they angry? It sounded like they were angry.
Really angry,
Oh, wow.
and like profanity laced. But I'm thinking of your mother, and it just went on and on.
Wow.
And I just
Thinking
went
about
like,
my mom.
I just went, yeah. Oh God, just give me a moment. And anyway, then I just I wrote back like, no, and that's an incredible tone. I was like, I'm not,
right.
and they wrote back, oh, I'm sorry. It was like this really quick exchange.
Yeah.
But like, why? How many years later?
Someone needed to...
Well, you
Many
remember
years
when
later.
you
Yeah,
remember
I
when
mean,
Vietnam was, Jeremy, because
2000.
you were alive then.
Okay, Jen. Okay. He
I
makes
was.
old jokes. He makes old jokes. You were alive?
Yeah.
Vietnam?
Yeah. I didn't serve
Not
there,
card-worthy.
but I was alive
Wow.
before the conflict ended.
So
I drank apple juice.
during the
I drank mostly I drank breast milk during the
okay.
yeah.
You're gonna notice a familiar thing. He makes old jokes at me, and then he makes fat jokes at Danny. Now those have sort of went down because Danny is on the cleanse. You know, he's been cleansing. He's been losing weight.
But you're not getting any younger.
That is true.
Yeah, there's nothing we could do for your oldness.
That's true. I think maybe I'll just start like some sort of workout plan where I just get fucking ripped, and then every time you say it, I just stand up like this. What's that?
It's just gonna let me lead to a series of ads that says 60-year-old man is incredibly ripped, and I'm gonna sell samples of
You're
your
gonna buy
blood.
ad space on this.
You see those late night commercials
Yeah.
with Jeremy? It's like the old guy's like, he's 76,
Right,
but
and he's
look
got-
at that
he-
bod.
Yeah, he's got
I'm
a
84, but I feel like 17.
he's got an abdominis diastase. From just,
It's like, yeah, he still has a 12 pack at 74. Who do you think you are, Harrison Ford?
Harrison Ford got off that airplane, landing an airplane where it wasn't supposed to be landed. He just got off. I guess he was drinking, maybe? I don't know if he was drinking.
They didn't
He's
press
just
charges.
Yeah, they didn't press charges.
he's just old.
Yeah.
He could probably give him a signed copy of
I blame the earring.
Well, you know the third time he's going to die because everybody gets 3. in the
3
plane.
what?
He's had 2 incidents with the plane
Near
that he's been
misses?
flying. So that third one's going to get him. So let's, this is an APB.
How many have you had?
I think you lucked out because they already made the Han Solo movie.
I haven't, I'm not allowed to fly a plane.
I'm not saying plane. It could be anything. It could be a car. I know you flipped a car once.
I have.
So that's one.
Wow.
What about you? You got hit by a car.
Wow.
That's one. What about you?
I not too far. Far from here. Skidded off a roadway on the Hutch. Hit a road sign. Took out one of the posts of the road sign. Spun around. Hit a tree and began sinking in the mud.
Wow. That's like
How deep was the mud, though?
Oh, it was just on the grass.
It was a 3.
side
It
of
was
the
just
highway.
like sort of like a 3-inch dip in. You just couldn't pull out. After all that.
Right, that's it.
Oh no, we could. The car
tire
was
spun
totaled.
around.
Dude, I
The
know.
car was totaled.
The tire spun around really quickly.
Was not my car.
What about you? Car wrecks? Motorcycle wrecks?
Oh, car wreck. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, car wreck. A car wreck in high school.
Carl wreck?
Carl wreck.
There you go.
That's just ongoing. The car wreck. And then I had a plane drop. I was on a plane that dropped going over the Rocky Mountains.
What is a plane drop? Is that like an atmospheric?
Where it gets
thing?
hit in a pocket in it.
Yeah, and it
I've been in that before. Everything moves up. Like I was drinking, and it was like,
surprise, surprise! You were on a plane drinking.
Not drinking alcohol. It was
you were looking for a place to vomit on the plane.
No, but everything goes up. Like you drop, and you're literally like, "Oh my god, I can't! What the hell's happening?"
It's over. Yeah. There's not even time to think. You're like, "Oh, this is it."
Yep. Bye.
Yeah, it was bad.
The Rockies, no less. The Rockies?
Yeah, over the Rockies. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
there's not a lot of room to drop.
Carl's had two, so now you have to be careful, man.
You need to tiptoe around life.
Yeah.
From here on out.
Why did I agree to do this? This is probably where it happened.
It's a trap.
It's a trap.
I mean, we were going to light porn on fire later, so I'm just saying.
Save it
Maybe
for the
we'll
podcast.
do the lighting. You know what I mean?
We were talking about totaling cars earlier. The car that I trashed was like $150 or so away from being totaled, and it was a lease car, and it was like my first car, and it's like only supposed to put 36,000 miles on it. I had like 110, and they didn't total it, and I had to pay back like $6 or $7 grand to like give the car back that was like almost totaled. I like jackassed it too, because it was like a week or two before I was supposed to give it back, and like I brought back to the dealership this
cube.
like mangled truck. Just like it had flipped 3 times. I like blew off into a farm. Oh yeah, luckily it had snowed.
Where did these things happen?
Amherst, Massachusetts.
This was your first car. Was when you were living.
Yeah,
up
it was
there? And we were in college.
I had a Tahoe in college, and when I blew off the road was going to the right, and I
you
hit
were like,
black
"Ah, later
ice.
for this road,
I hit black ice, and I went flying, but it snowed like 3 feet the night before, so it was like full of snow. So I hit the snow, and like the car rolled and rolled and rolled, and it landed like on its wheels, like looking up at the street, like 150 yards from the
right.
What? Like I was, yeah. Wow. I mean, it was. How
many
bad,
times did you roll?
4 times.
You sure?
I rolled side. Yeah, I counted because you could see the marks in the snow. But if there was no,
you counted the roll,
dude. If there was no snow, I probably would have been dead because it took all the impact and I just ended up rolling. Otherwise, like even in the snow, I had a Tahoe. The roof was like about 3 inches from my head.
And you're not a tall guy.
And I'm not a tall man.
Wow.
Yeah, it was intense.
Thank childhood cigarettes for that.
Thank childhood cigarettes and too much coffee.
Thanks looking on the ground kid. For cigarettes in the street.
That and the ADs from Pete and Pete.
Yeah.
Loaning you cigs.
Why, does that stunt your growth, cigarettes?
I think that's the joke, yes.
I think that's coffee that stunts your growth. I think you need to get your vices.
I'm pretty sure cigarettes do too.
I don't think so. I think that's just a thing.
Whose kid do you want to try it on first?
What's that?
Whose kid we trying it on first?
Yeah. about that.
Actually...
My 4-year-old daughter hasn't been smoking for 2 years now. She's been clean for 2 years.
That's not bad.
That's good.
That's not bad. What was her brand?
She's a Marlboro girl.
Really?
Yeah.
She collected points and stuff.
I think she started on those fetal Marlboros, and they're just the worst.
Fisher Marlboros? Wait.
Preemie cigs.
Preemie cigs.
I
think when Adele's mom was pregnant with her, she was encouraged to smoke to lower her birth weight.
Really?
Yes, I'm confirming. I don't just think. I know.
Then was that a thing? Was that
in Ohio?
Doctor? Oh wow! Don't blame it on Ohio. Everything's blamed on Ohio.
What isn't blamed on Ohio?
I don't know, man.
You pretty much blame a lot of stuff on Ohio.
Taft, the stupid Tafts. Tafts.
The fattest president.
Listen, we don't have any Christies.
Ain't over yet.
Chunky guys know they're fattest presidents, and I know it was Taft. He got stuck in a bathtub.
Did he really?
Yeah. Poor guy. Like everyone has like the one thing for each president
that they know
as a
about
kid,
them,
and that's the one you remember. What do you know about Howard Taft? He was the fattest president, and so fat that he got stuck in a bathtub.
Well, that's the fun
in the White House.
That might be the coolest thing.
It could be.
Yeah.
What about Harrison? He gave a very long inauguration speech with no hat on and then died from pneumonia weeks later.
Yeah.
Well, he should have been not sweating as much. If you sweat and it's cold out, you're going to get sick.
Maybe he got worked up.
Yeah, maybe it's just how old was he?
It's what do you call it? It's like graduation season, Carl, and being so close to a couple of universities over here.
Yeah.
Have you ever been invited to give a graduation speech?
No, and I can't think of any reason why somebody would ask me
But if you were
to give one.
say rules were suspended that day and someone did invite you, what school do you think you would be giving a commencement speech at?
Oh yeah, I think NYU would call me back.
You get one call back.
Yeah, they'd be like, "Now's your time, Carl."
We're gonna forgive all of your student debt if you just do this one.
Yeah, that would have been useful.
Do this one appearance.
Yeah, they didn't do that though. I really should have reached out earlier.
We'll talk to him.
Yeah, do you guys know them?
Do you have like a safety school that you would like to?
Sure, that's your reach. That's
What's
your
your
reach.
safety school?
Probably Columbia, I guess, or
Phoenix.
Bard. Yeah,
University of
I get. There's always something in my Twitter feed from Albion College. It's like a sponsored ad all the time, Albion, and I just think like, yeah, today's the day I go back to school. Every time I see it. So why don't let's just do it for Albion if they need a speaker.
It's such a weird word. It always makes me think of albumin.
Albumin, yeah,
And
which is
egg whites.
a weirder word.
Yeah, makes me think of Egg White College.
Egg White College. I just hear aluminum because I didn't get that far.
I
didn't get that far in my home economics class.
The weirdest physics
Call
teacher
eggs
in high
that.
school. He was English, and he called aluminum aluminium.
Yeah, but it's
man,
not
I
spelled
hate
like
that.
that.
But he nevertheless pronounced it like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And being a science teacher, you get a lot of opportunities to use the word aluminum, or as he liked to say it, aluminium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he have shopping bags as curtains? Because that was what my science teacher did.
No,
We
this
talked
was
about
not. This
before.
was not. This was not Ohio. We pay our public school teachers here.
I don't know if that's true anywhere in this country.
Wait, how do you know that he had shopping bags for curtains?
Well, we talked about
Jeremy lived in a small town, and so he followed the guy home.
Yeah. No, that's we just. I mean, everybody knew where everybody lived.
Well, yeah, so
Partially
pretty
true,
much
partially
that's what
true.
happened.
And
but-
you would drive by, and it would be like
The white pages was
Walmart or
like
the
5 pages
the
long.
the Kmart bags, just basically covering the windows. So you didn't know what was going on.
You
there.
could
He's
see
shopping
the,
a lot.
You could
knew
see
that.
the receipts. He used his mortar, so they were dated
How
recently.
did he get busted? There was a receipt stuck to one of the window bags.
Yeah, we knew who it was.
Duct tape and rope,
Yeah.
nail gun.
oh my gosh.
He was a good teacher, but I never nailed. I couldn't commit to memory the formula to figure out the roller coaster problem. I could never.
I don't know what
in
that
physics
is.
class. Like you have a roller coaster that's it's going this fast at this point, and it has this much loop, and you had to figure out the acceleration at various points along the whoosh,
Okay, I didn't take it. I don't think.
You lost me at trigonometry.
aluminium.
You're making me question whether I actually went to school or not. I have no idea what that problem is.
That was high school.
Yeah.
I don't remember much. So
Maybe it was that from flipping your car the next year.
no. Just beer, hops, and bong resin. Sorry. I cut out a lot of school in high school because I was only there for a partial amount of time anyway. So I was like, well, what the fuck do they know if I'm here or not? No, yeah, I've been in LA, but I just came back, but now I gotta go away again. Just
Test
I
Friday.
think I just saw Tamborelli running down the back of the high school down to the student lot to get in his car to go hiking.
To go to an airport?
I used to just leave and go like hike.
Get high in the woods.
Get high in the woods and go hiking. And just be like, see ya. Get a couple friends who are just as bold as I was and let's get out of here.
By bold, you mean unafraid of the consequences of leaving school?
Correct.
Did they also go to LA a lot, or were they not?
No, they didn't have
They
the
were
sweet
ready to
they didn't
go.
have the sweet alibi that I always had.
Yeah.
No.
Just
I
hiking.
think one of them though said that they were allergic to the cold. So they got a doctor's note and they were allowed to park in the
primo spots. Yeah.
the
Give me
faculty
a
parking
freaking
on
break.
the I know.
Give me a freaking
I got so mad. Even though I had a great alibi, I was still pissed. I was like, how do you get off of saying that you're allergic to the cold?
You know what they should have gotten was an anxiety Saint Bernard. You wrap it around yourself, and it also keeps you
the
calm.
slip and fall incidents at school would go up because of all the drool of the Saint Bernard. A lot of kids would break their ankles and break their heads a little bit.
right
well, I'm glad Morona's not anxious, but the entire school is
It's
afraid they're going to
lubricated. It's
slip
well
and
lubricated.
fall.
He's calm, but the rest of them.
right before I didn't graduate college, there were they're having like a dog show at SUNY Purchase the same day. And I went out before, just, to prepare the field of battle before graduation. And I saw this beautiful Great Pyrenees in a cage with a bib on to stop the drool from ruining its perfect coat and chest. And I was just like, brother, I'm you. I am you this day.
The bibless you.
Well, if that breeder hadn't have bred that one dog that just kept just letting it all out, maybe you could have gone a little easy on the Great Pyrenees slob.
Son, we brought you a cage for graduation.
And a bib.
And a bib.
It comes with a bib.
All that work finally paying off.
If you get anything under a B-, you're going in the cage too with him, and I'm taking the bib off.
No bib.
No bib. Oh.
But my shiny chest coat.
No.
And I'm going to invite over that girl you like to come say hello.
No bibs bar.
Just really, really give it to him.
Tell her you've been waiting for her.
I can't wait to be a dad and really just
You mean a mean dad? You mean a mean dad?
I mean, I'm not going to be a mean dad, but I am going to be one to throw down some like embarrassment.
Did Paul embarrass you?
No, but
so why can't you wait?
Yeah, this is genetic at this point. This is not going to happen.
No, but I'm saying, like, usually when you can't wait for something, it's because of some previous trauma or insult.
No, I just want this.
Yeah,
no,
I agree.
You know what? I just want fodder for the podcast. I just want good fodder. That's all.
I don't even
be really
love
funny
Kate when I just asked her to marry me so we can have an episode.
Kate, if you're listening, that's not true.
And I do see his fingers, and they are completely straight.
They are not
sweating.
crossed.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sweat. There's a lot of sweat on Dan's brow right now.
There's absolutely no sweat on my brow.
No.
You know why?
Thank you, Carl.
We're above ground level when
Thank you,
recording.
Carl.
This doesn't often happen.
Oh, because we're not in the sub
Yeah,
basement.
we usually record below sea level, and Dan has atmospheric pressure reactions. The water is actually osmosis out of his head.
Death Valley of the
This
East.
is still considered the Upper Hudson Valley, right?
Yeah, we're Upper Hudson, yeah.
Yeah.
For the
I was looking
Or
forward.
Mid Hudson.
Mid Hudson Valley?
We're
Okay.
mid.
For the listener, big thanks to Carl for being so hospitable. And he cooked us a very nice lunch.
Yes,
Yeah.
you did.
With
Drop on by.
Mike brought mustard and sausages.
Kielbasi.
What was it?
What was
Kielbasa
this
called?
special?
Oh, I brought the fellas had educated me last summer.
The fellas.
The fellas downstairs, the Greenpoint Social Club is like my super and a couple of guys he hangs with who just drink and smoke and watch soccer in the basement. But they turned me on to Zwichina, which is difficult to pronounce and even harder to spell. It's a sausage that you would grill and then eat. And I brought mustard because I always bring mustard. It's like a nervous tick that I have. I don't even eat it myself, but I bring mustard.
You don't eat that
You
mustard?
didn't eat that mustard?
Did you see me eat it?
Don't watch you all the time.
I
anymore.
didn't actually
After that
watch you if
restraining
you
order.
ate it or not.
Carl?
I didn't know. I didn't see it.
Jared?
He did not.
No proof. Yeah,
no.
nobody has any.
He's
Yeah.
got no-
Yeah, no, I never touched the mustard. I'm not a mustard guy. Eventually I will.
I turned into a mustard guy.
You need to get some
I wasn't a
drinks in me
mustard
or
guy when I
something.
was younger.
Yeah.
I'm a mustard guy now.
I used to eat ziti with butter.
Ooh.
When I was 18 and moved out on my own, I started making sauce.
Started eating like a 4-year-old.
I started making
no, ziti with butter.
I started actually making sauce
Oh.
after I moved out. And then about 3 years ago, I started eating pickles.
Wow. I think we done it, yeah.
Yeah, pickles took me forever. And now I eat.
This ain't living.
What's nice is you're really starting to live. You're really, yeah.
It's like being
It's all
like,
coming together for you, man.
yeah. It's like finally being reborn.
My taste buds are changing for another time.
That actually happened to me, but I can't remember what
does happen
Yeah, I
over
can't remember
time.
what
Yeah.
the thing was that switched.
Skyline.
It's definitely not
Skyline
mushrooms.
chili.
No, that's always and forever.
Didn't like Brussels sprouts. Love them now.
Actually, that might have
Big
been
fan.
it. That might have been it. Yeah.
Didn't like beets before. Love them now.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Tastes
and-
tastes like garden soil.
And the day after. Yes,
Tastes
thank
like
you.
garden
Mushrooms.
soil.
Beets
Yeah.
taste like dirt.
Dirt.
Beets just take like the
totally
earth.
dirt.
You're just like,
Weird.
wow, I know where these. If you like eat cheese or drink milk, you're just like, oh, it's very grassy. You know what I mean? Like you have an idea of
of how it came,
terroir.
how the milk came to be.
You have an idea of what the cow did when you have milk or cheese. When you eat
What is that? I taste some Kentucky bluegrass in this milk.
But then when you eat the beet, you're just like I was born in dirt, I lived in dirt, and I died in dirt, and I taste like dirt.
I don't.
That's what a beet tastes like to me. Is
do
dirt.
do you like cilantro?
I love cilantro.
Okay, I wonder if that's the same thing.
But
Like,
they're not
maybe
grown in soap.
It doesn't.
There's a
right.
difference.
No.
They don't grow cilantro in the soap.
It's
farm.
hydroponically hand soaked
Yeah,
grown
exactly.
cilantro.
It's grown in
Well,
great vats of
I've
dial.
never thought that beets taste like dirt because I've never tasted dirt so sweet.
Okay. That's how I think mushrooms taste.
I can cook some mushrooms and make you love them.
Well, there is one place. I'm sure we've talked about this, but there's one
Toby's?
place. No, it's Toby's. There you go.
You could have the Toby's. You could have those
I'd love
mushrooms
that.
at Toby's.
Yeah, the mushroom ravioli. is
Risotto.
amazing.
Oh, is
Toby's
it?
Public House.
Was it a ravioli? I thought we had
A
a
place in
risotto.
Brooklyn. Also, there used to be a version of it on Kenmare in the city, and now it's gone.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah,
Well,
so
we
like-
can't, we
Kenmare
can't all
Place?
be exotic.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's tough.
Kenmare Place, that sweet little street that's just around for like 2 blocks, maybe. It causes a
even.
lot of problems.
Yeah, total traffic nightmare. Over
Totally screws everything up because nothing can
If
flow
you want,
freely.
if you want to go to Jersey, don't go there.
there. No, you don't want to pass through.
Why? Because
Kenmare.
getting the Holland Tunnel from that entrance is no good.
Never.
Never a good sign. I sat there once for 3 hours trying to get out of the city.
This reminds me of
Horrible experience.
this reminds me of our experience playing Gauntlet earlier today.
Hey now.
Carl has a great, I would say, even a plethora of video games in his barn, and we all played Gauntlet, and we had killed everything, but still couldn't find the exit to the level.
The only way to fix that
Have
was
you had that problem, Carl? Have you?
No.
No, we were trapped
I've never-
on level 17.
17.
Yeah.
We killed
I've
everything.
never gotten that far. I lose interest by level
We blew
3.
up everything that we needed to. And
Oh my
we still
God, the
couldn't get to
ghosts,
the
the
exit.
grunts, everything.
So, you know what?
The lobbers?
Cash rules everything
lava.
around me. Cream.
Get the money.
Dollar
So
bill
we just ding 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 ding.
just kept dinging it up until it finally was like, oh, you put $100 in here. Let's move on.
We'll let you have this one.
But maybe it was designed like that. Maybe that was
totally.
another quarter grabbing level of
That's-
just
oh,
like,
that's despicable.
100%
Let's take
was.
it.
100%
Yeah.
that is-
was.
that
There's
is
nothing
genius.
left to do. And it's funny that that's where your brain goes. It's like, what else can I do? I guess I should feed it more.
Yeah.
Give more money.
I've pressed the button plenty, and that's not doing anything.
it costs $5 to see what level. Oh, it's the exact same level as 17 again. Oh. That's Gauntlet.
No,
That's
this
like
one
100
yeah.
levels.
No,
of
this
the
one has
exact same thing.
braces.
That's how they get you to be like, look, kid, you've been playing this video game for too long.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to keep playing, you got to pay.
That's what NBA Jam would do. Remember, like just in the middle of not NBA Jam. What was it
Blitz?
called? No, Double Dribble. The one that was more combative, where you could like bang somebody.
Arch Rivals?
Arch Rivals,
Yeah.
right? And then in the middle of Arch Rivals, you would have the ref looking at you and going, TV timeout, TV timeout, TV timeout, and wanted you to put another quarter in.
Oh,
you could
really?
only play like one quarter.
It was a timed
of
game,
basketball.
right?
Yeah,
it was like
exactly.
2 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Arch Rivals. Man, there was some like pants pulling down and sucker punching in that game.
I don't remember.
I don't remember
one.
that either.
You didn't play Arch Rivals?
Fact check. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna
We don't
fact check.
need a fact
No, you don't
check.
need to fact check. Trey.
Well, I just want to see what it is. So this is going to be a personal.
Oh my gosh.
Personal
about
TO.
We have an allotment of.
But don't let that
checks.
hold you back. If you
No,
have a
I'm
lot of-
If you have something that you want clarified,
Yeah, if you need something clarified, we're happy to use
Yeah.
a fact check for our guests.
great. All right, I'll throw it
it's
down.
just as a courtesy.
I'm good on this one though. I'm worried about what if it isn't Arch Rivals that we've been.
No, you were dead on that
But I think
one.
it's right.
you guys nailed it. The minute he said Arch Rivals, his eyes lit up. Michael's eyes.
I think
lit up.
Carl nailed it by deciding to live in a place where you can have
barn full of video games?
in a barn. Could you maybe explain some of your reasoning behind that, Carl?
Sure. I think. Yeah, that's
it's
it. That's
absolutely
Arch
right.
Rivals. We're looking at a picture of Arch Rivals
For the
now.
listener,
We'll put it on the website.
Sega Genesis.
Jeremy
Hey, why
never
don't you
does.
remember to put that on the website?
Just send a screenshot. Send a screenshot
So
to
much to
yourself.
do.
Here's the thing. Jeremy loves the moniker producer, hates the actual work.
That is absolutely not true. It offends me horribly.
He hates the name and he hates the work.
If you, the listener, knew how many hours I spent for these two guys to be holding these two microphones,
Yeah, these
Matter of
microphones,
fact, I'm leaving.
they don't hold themselves, right?
Yeah.
No,
It's not like you could buy a stand.
No,
the
we're
pot
gonna get. Yeah, we're gonna
studio,
get microphone holders.
You can.
Are you,
Love stirring.
are you stirring the
that
pot?
soup.
Are you stirring the pot? Yeah.
My third grade
producer.
my third grade principal, Mr. Buffington, told my parents that I'm a good kid, but I love to stir the pot. And that was at like 10 years old, and 25 years later, still stirring the pot.
Still buffing, huh?
And my mom was mad. My mom was very mad at the principal for saying that about me. But now she knows.
How could she not have known?
I don't know. She didn't want to hear the truth, because the truth hurts.
Well,
Yeah.
Just like you and the producing.
Please, Carl.
That's why you went right to the...
Give us some
Exactly.
truth, Carl.
Yes. Give us some truth about
the
the video
barn?
games
Yeah.
in the barn.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just started a mess. I once, a long time ago, wrote a story about collecting arcade games for the worst possible outlet you could possibly write for.
McSweeney's.
No, that'd be a
Berlitz.
huge step up. No, I won't name it. And
Cosmo.com.
and it was really intriguing. And so I managed to buy an arcade game, and I bought a Joust. And then I was like, oh, this is fun. What's the hobby where you can move things around that are the size of refrigerators? And I'd like to do that.
Telekinesis?
Yeah, no, it's just like they're huge, and they weigh 300 pounds, and they're bulky, and they're prone to failure. And I was like, this will be fun. So there we go. And then we when we moved up here, we had this barn, and there's nothing to do up here, so we filled it up with some arcade games.
For the listener, we're in the pleasant Hudson Valley, New York.
Yeah, Pleasant Valley, New York.
Isn't that also the home of Reader's Digest?
No, that's Pleasantville.
Damn
Yeah.
it. I kept thinking going up here. I was like, all right.
No, that's why I moved here too. Once
Because
we found out it wasn't here, we were like, "Oh,
Now
we've
you've
made
gotta
a
get outta
horrible
here.
mistake."
This whole time I've been calling her Crandall.
You know, my band's name is Jounce.
It's 33
And,
West.
a lot of times when you say it fast or someone doesn't know or they kind of know,
They go like the video game?
That's a word that comes out a lot is joust.
Oh, like the video game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the classic video game. Where
So
you
I'm
fly
glad I
around.
didn't get a chance to see that one in there because it really chaps my ass.
It's there.
It's-
It was right behind you
Well,
when you
the
were playing
whole
golf.
Well,
time.
In fact,
Well, it might not be there when.
in fact, there are two jousts out there.
Do you have a double
Wow.
joust?
Yeah, a friend of mine called me like a few weeks ago and said,
It's like, hey, you got a single joust, right? He needs a friend, right? I got another one.
yeah, she didn't even know I had it. And she's like, this guy I know is clearing out the space and he's got this game. It doesn't work. I think it's Space Invaders. Do you want it? And I was like, I don't really like Space Invaders, but I'll come over. And she's like, oh, it's Joust. And then when the guy found out that I collect video games,
The price
she was
doubled.
talking to him, it went from a free Joust. He's like, all right, now it's $25. And I was like, okay,
Wow.
I guess. So I
That's-
paid
yeah.
$25 when I was still
Now
like,
It's like, oh,
okay.
see, you didn't really care about it, but now that I
trip
know.
mattered. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's an actual trip that
No, it
mattered.
made
You
the-
didn't,
it was
you didn't
worth the
waste your
drive.
weekend or whatever.
we can strap that joust on either car if you guys want to take it.
I did
home
not
with you.
bring ratchet straps.
I have ratchet straps. Yeah, you
Wow.
can have
Everything.
It's
I figure you have
Yeah,
a
you
hand
put 'em
truck
in my
as well
two-door
for
I do have
moving
a hand
the,
truck. Yeah,
for moving the
I've-
cabinets around the
yeah. I have
house.
a hand truck and dollies.
Oh,
I'm
can
a
we
guy
just
with.
attach the hand truck
To the car.
The car.
Yeah, he has a hitch on the Prius.
Yeah, I have a tow
Yeah,
hitch.
yeah. I don't have a trailer, but
Don't need it.
No, we'll
I'm
just.
sure
No,
one
but
of
I
the
need to
neighbors,
strap it down.
one of your neighbors probably has a trailer.
yeah, Stan and Jay next door will have.
I'll
a
contact
trailer.
the New York State Troopers and tell them.
The man died. He thought he disappeared,
he was
but
dead.
he just died.
This really did happen the other night. Coming home, we got here at about 11:30, and there's the little valley you go down with the farm there. There was a cow in the middle of the road at 11:30 at night, which has never happened before. And I slammed on the brakes, and it just sort of was like hanging there. And I thought I should get out and let them know that there's a cow. But I was like, I'm kind of tired. And so I drove home and left the cow on the side of the road. And I was like, eh. But there's no like huge
What would you
stain
have
in the
done,
road.
though?
The next day, the cow was dead on the side of the
Yeah,
road.
that didn't
and
happen.
you-
There's not a huge stain,
didn't
so
happen.
it didn't.
There wasn't. We checked for a stain on Friday morning. There was no stain
Milk or blood?
either. It would have been milk.
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit. Milky
mean-
blood. It's like a Metallica cover album. That's what it would have looked like.
Good call.
That's what it would have looked like.
Any other near miss deaths or any deaths in this house itself?
Yeah, the previous owner here died. That's true. And he died like doing some masonry work down right off the road. And my neighbor did find him. And when I met my neighbor for the first time, it was in a very small ice cream shop. And we were with our kids eating ice cream, or our daughter at the time, our son was born. And he was like, "Oh, I'm Jake," and he's deaf and he talks like this. He's a great guy, but he was just saying like, "Oh, he's dead as could be. I found him dead." And all the kids in the shop, because he's deaf and he just screams from all that tractor work, they all just turned and looked at him, and I was trying to be like, "Oh, that's so sad," and just trying to calm him down, but he was just going like, "So dead, stiff, but still looked like he was sleeping, dead."
Rigid.
Yeah, he's like, "Not quite rigor mortis yet, but getting there. Didn't smell like a dead guy yet, but he was definitely dead." And he just went on, and all these kids and their parents just kept like looking at it. And
Nobody put their cones down and said, "I'm not hungry," though, right?
No,
Absolutely not. It's ice cream.
Not one person said. Not one person said, "I lost my appetite."
No, because in that moment it stopped being we're going out to the ice cream shop for a treat, and it became like
Let's get through this.
consolation. Like, I know you don't feel good about this conversation,
But at
kid.
least you get to have
Eat
ice
the
cream.
ice cream.
Yeah. Just let's get him another round so they
This
can
is
overcome this.
it's depression ice cream setting in.
We get a palate cleanser for everybody. We
I
just
had-
want to get the taste of that story out of our mouths.
Yeah, I bought sorbet for everybody in there right after that.
And glasses of water for
Lemon
everyone.
sorbet for everyone on me.
Oh, that's what he used to eat when he came here.
I'll take a rocky road.
Neighbor's thing, kind of like the road where he died on Rocky Road.
He loved a good sorbet. Oh, he's dead now. Did I mention that? He's
dead.
dead. I've seen lots of dead things, but none more dead than the guy found in your yard. And I was like, oh, God.
You don't get haunted by that stuff. I know if you walk around New York City, it's just like every place that you might stop to tie your shoe, probably
Right.
someone has been murdered on.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
something horrible has happened
Yeah.
in New York. But you don't think about that sometimes when you get out of the city and you come to a specific place 100 miles from the city or whatever.
I think it's more horrible here. I think more horrible things happen here. There was at the end of the block, and there's like 100 miles away, and we're off the Taconic, and there was an abandoned farm there where they did find a body buried under the barns.
Wow.
They found that, and then there's a state park right there, and somebody drove by. Somebody had dropped, and it was a prostitute, but somebody had killed her and was in the process of like dragging her body into the state park when somebody saw it and called it in.
Wow.
And they were arrested. So that's 3 bodies now we're talking about within the span of like a mile.
I'm glad somebody got caught, though.
I'm glad they got
for that
caught
one.
too. Yeah. I mean, yeah. So
Well, you ever watch The Sopranos?
No.
That's where they like to come up here
Yeah,
and they
right.
take care of all their business.
Yes, but the problem is that kids these days learn from Grand Theft Auto that you can just kill a prostitute and get away with it. This
you
is
can't.
horrible.
My character in Grand Theft Auto, you can't do that. I can be around while that stuff's happening. but
You could be
I can't
complicit,
do it.
but-
So I don't want
Guess what?
to.
You're still going to jail, just like everyone else.
No.
Yeah.
No, I have nothing to do with corrupting the children of this country or the world.
does your character? I didn't play a lot of Grand Theft Auto, but does your character say in that? Does it basically breaks the fourth wall in the game? It's don't kill prostitutes. Is that the role of your character?
we need a
How do you
PSA.
redeem
You know
yourself?
what? Yeah, we need a PSA.
You didn't say that. Yeah,
Hi,
yeah.
Danny Tamborelli.
Hi, Danny
AKA
Tamborelli.
Jimmy.
That was
Jimmy
funny.
DeSantis
That was
from
funny,
Grand
but
Theft
there's
Auto
nothing
5.
funny about murdering people.
No, there's nothing funny about murdering people. But if you're going to do it, make sure it's in a video game.
Well, you can do it in a funny way, but the end result really
not,
isn't
yeah.
funny.
What? There's still dead bits out there and bites, right?
What's a funny way to kill somebody?
Somebody or a
Run them over with a clown car? See, you laughed.
Throwing an octopus on them.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An octopus.
I'm gonna stick to my guns. T-shirt cannon.
T-shirt cannon.
Yeah.
But the Simpsons already did that.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
But like
We talked about this
Is
already.
that how Krusty died? I don't know. I'm just kidding.
Maud
Oh my
Flanders.
God, Ron Flanders. Let's go.
in 6 Feet Under, that started just thinking back of that show always started with the death. And there were some, funny deaths. Like somebody got like a tire on an airplane fell on somebody, which isn't necessarily funny, but it's just a grander version of the
There-
classic piano drop.
I think any death involving a way that one of the three Stooges would smack the other one would still be considered funny, even if it was a massive monkey wrench to the forehead.
Yeah, it's a Three Stooges approved death.
Yeah, if the fingers slip and go completely into the skull.
Right.
Through the Just, what happened? Oh, his eyeballs popped out. His hand failed and his eyeballs popped out.
Yeah.
Or
You forget that my fingers are bigger than yours. Bink.
Feels like a rotten pumpkin.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, I'm glad that we figured all that out.
Now we have a
What
trail.
famous deaths?
No, what was famous about any of these deaths? They're just funny ones.
There was that show, The 1,000 Ways to Die, or whatever, that had a lot of those. The point of those,
They were terrible.
Yes,
That was a terrible show,
Yeah,
and they were terrible deaths.
Yeah, I could fact check it, get specific ones, but I remember them all.
and a
being
very cheap show to make. So whoever
It's all stock
made
footage.
that, whoever made
reenactments.
that,
Like that A-Team episode where Murdoch gets shot. Oh, we'll just take clips from old episodes and bang them around.
That's a nice troll. We should watch that now.
yeah.
All I see is Dr. Katz over there.
Because you're.
Which I would
I
be
don't have a
very
DVD.
fine with watching Dr. Katz.
No, but it's on Netflix, isn't it?
I'm sure it is.
Is it?
A-Team? I'm
It's
saying
coming.
it is.
Oh, A-Team?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you can get it on regular free digital cable anywhere you want.
Over the air, if
Yeah,
you're
it's over the
willing
air.
to stay home at
You
10
just have
o'clock
to,
each night.
Yeah, I was gonna say you have to wait for Jeopardy to end, and then right before the
Flip
then
over to
you
UHF
docudramas.
station 63.
No, I was doing that at 5. I was doing it at 5:30 so I could memorize the Jeopardy questions and then seem like a genius at 7.
Are they repeated like that?
The same ones.
You should go on this show, Mike. You're going to be great on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe we just do one at the local.
new way.
Y. Clean up.
The cheap version of doing Jeopardy is you just have
Quiz night?
You have 3 people competing against the TV in the local town hall meeting place.
At the
Tonight
Greenpoint-
at 7, it's Jeopardy.
I'm your
But not,
host.
but not the real one.
Yeah.
The one that they replay.
I'm your
It's
host,
only
Alan
syndicated.
Trebek.
Yeah, maybe you could do this if you just like muted it. I was always good at Jeopardy because I read the clues very quickly because of the television format. Like they put the clues on the screen very quickly. Maybe it would be fun to play along with if you muted the sound.
Mute it.
Muted this if the sound was moot and you just paused the broadcast every so often so people could read the clues and answer the question.
I would pay at least $7 for that.
Jeremy,
Yeah.
back me up on this.
I'm busy. Moving along.
Are you texting?
You guys,
anyone?
should I do this? Should I squeeze the? No, I'm writing down notes. Why did you grinding halt?
Yeah.
We're worried about you.
Oh, don't be worried.
I think
I
he's-
just wrote
I
down the
think
word
he's just-
stiff
look,
neighbors. So I
he
think
is.
we're doing just fine.
Rigid corpse.
Wherein the guys discuss stiff neighbors.
This is a nice segue. So, dead previous owner of this place. He died with a huge stash of porn hidden away in the barn.
Can we say a huge cache of porn?
cash?
Cash?
Cache of porn?
Porn cash is probably better than the porn stash.
Yeah, because I think of like Raleigh Fingers as having a porn stash or
yeah.
I get it.
I don't know.
get your-
I know stash though is like secret. That's
Yeah, it
like
was- yeah,
that's like
Cash
I
is
own
right.
a van.
right.
Either one.
I've
really.
stashed a van in the after killing that prostitute.
But
Oh, wait, was that?
What's that? No, let's go. Your story. Go ahead.
Not
Sorry.
cool.
No, but we found it. So I was working with an electrician because we had to hook stuff up for the arcade, and it wasn't powered right. Anyway, we're tracing this wire. He's using this cool tool from the future. I don't know what it does, but it followed this
follows the
wire,
wire?
It's
right?
a tone tracer.
And he's like, "What's behind this door?" And I was like, "I don't know what door you're talking about." And he's like, "This one right here." And he says, "I bet it's the guy's."
Oh
He
no.
said stash, but we can also say cash. And so he removes this little door, and it's small. The door is like 2 feet high.
Crawl
like
space
18
type
inches
of door?
wide.
Yeah, a little fairy
I can't
door.
even get in there. And he just goes, ugh. And he crawls in and follows this. And then he's like, you just never want to see this. And I'll describe it for you because I then immediately went right in. And then I showered for 3 days. So here's what we found.
So many questions.
So the guy died in 1999. So I can date that it was his because the last magazine
It's from 1999.
It's from 1999. I should also say that I've only been in there in a hazmat suit with. I really did. I went in with like a full suit,
right?
Yeah, and gloves. I've never touched any of it without gloves because we found in there lots of devices, and we found he had carved. You know the green foam on like floral arrangements where the flowers are stuck in. Well, those were carved, custom carved.
No,
they're custom carved. Yeah, and there was a lot of that in there. And then there were tons of there was a lot of
He died of prostate cancer.
Sudden prostate cancer, heart attack is what I heard. But there were lots of this is specific non-lubricated condoms that were used and then stuffed back into the wrapper.
No.
Yeah. And the place was littered with it.
Oh, my God.
And there were also, when you went into the left, there was like a little bookshelf with hundreds of videotapes with handwritten labels on them. And then also what I found in there was a set of old golf clubs, 4 tennis rackets, and a fishing pole.
Sports.
It was basically like a little sports club in there. It just needed like leather couches. Yeah, so I took it all out. I sprayed it all with bleach. Oh, and so there are mice in the barn. So the mice were also all over this stuff too.
Right.
So
you
with
don't
the
think
floral
it was the mice
foam?
getting their jollies
everywhere. And so I sprayed it down with
Custom
bleach.
carved floral
Yeah.
foam.
How many? Was it more just one, or was
No,
it
more than one.
No, it was more than one.
They
I
had
took
names
out
on them.
3 really large garbage bags of paraphernalia and used materials.
Wow.
And so I on legal advice from my cousin who's an attorney, he said,
He's my cousin, but he's an attorney.
well, I didn't want to say, like, I don't have a lawyer, but my cousin was just like, you got to burn those right away. So I
think your cousin's just a decent human. I'm not a lawyer, and I would have said the
Say
same
burn
thing.
them right away.
I would have said the same thing. Burn the barn down.
well, no, see, I thought it was funny. I was like, we have to keep this here as like a museum relic of what's in the barn.
Not with the mice.
As
Old man Rittenhouse's secret stash.
Yeah.
12-year-old me would have been really excited. Adult me is just like, oh, this has to stop, but I should be preserved for cultural
I got to get a dumpster and cover it with lucite.
truth. Yeah, that's exactly right. So I removed
nobody can get
everything
infected.
but the magazines. I smashed all the videotapes with a sledgehammer and brought them to the dump.
This sounds like a ritual.
And now all the magazines are out there, but
Out where?
out in the barn. But 50% of the magazines
For the listener,
Is there a
Mike just
pause button on this
disappeared.
podcast?
50% of the magazines are barely legal and very like declarative of what like
They're
it's
called
like
barely
teen
legal.
magazines. There is Barely Legal is one of the magazines, but then there's like lots of teen
man,
stuff.
that's-
And so that and the videotapes was just like, oh, this is not good. I don't want to ever know. I don't want to know. So I'm getting rid of it all.
Couple questions.
Yeah. You can have it.
Did
if
he-
that's
Yeah, Jeremy
wonderful.
wants to
Jeremy
know
wants
when you
it.
put your
Will
dumpster
Will it
out.
fit in the guy's
Yeah,
trucks?
what day?
No.
What day do you put your dumpster out?
It's ready to go.
No, but so was the idea that he would crawl into there and jerk off or have sex with
Could you
phone?
stop? Could you stop right there? And let's
Listen,
just let
Mike's mom,
Carl-
I'm sorry, but these are the things I want to know.
I can answer that question for you.
Oh God!
Glad.
Please don't.
One is I don't know, but we
Okay.
have the black light out there, so we
That's
could
what I
like
was-
walk it
that was
around the
another
barn
question.
if we wanted to.
Man,
I have a black
Yeah.
light.
I think the
I have a UV
listeners-
flashlight.
We
I
should
think
definitely get the
the
UV
listeners-
flashlight.
I have a
over there
UV
to
flashlight for
see.
just these situations. When your neighbor has died of
weird.
porn.
PI.
porn.
Yeah,
It's-
cash, stash.
You just see like UV footprints.
I guess my question in asking was like, you know,
You really liked feet. He really liked his own feet.
Yeah.
I know what you're getting at. I don't know if things happened in the little room or out.
you know,
in
if like
the
you were
studio.
14, 16, something like that, that's like,
Well-
that's the best clubhouse in the world.
Well,
It's
yes.
minus the rats and the
Yeah,
you
well,
know,
they probably
trail,
weren't
the
there.
snail trails, but like,
Snail trail.
Jeez.
I'm just wondering, like, how, you know, like, is this like his, you know, reprieve from the wife, or like, does he just?
Well, I feel like
Carl
that's
ever
a
got to
retreat
meet the
from
guy.
the wife, and then that's your secret stat. I
I'm
mean,
trying
maybe
to
he was
Sherlock
just doing
Holmes.
it
A,
in.
you don't know the guy was married. B, I don't know that
we
Carl
do
was married.
know that he was married, and we
He said
also
he was married.
can speculate that the reason he died out by the street was that he remembered that he was dying, and he was like, I have to get back
Right.
Oh, man.
to the barn to burn it down to get rid of my stash or cash
to prevent these kids from having this.
Because I want
18 years from now, there can't be a
have a
podcast
pristine
about
legacy.
Yeah, I have. Well,
Did you never told anybody in the town?
no, I've met his wife. I met his wife. I met her at a party at the neighbor's house.
Did you look her in the eye? Or
I did, and he was a car collector, and there were still some like car stuff in there. And I was like, she's like, oh, I'll come by and get it. And I was like, no, I'll bring it over. And she was very sweet. She had a place in the city, and so they would. I think she was probably down in the city, and he was here with his porn. But I gave her all these car parts back, and she started crying, and it was very sweet. But the whole time I talked to her, I was like, I found your husband's epic.
I know more than you do.
Porn cache.
Stash.
Maybe both of them went in there. You don't know.
She might have. She might.
Yeah. Or maybe he went. He's
but
like,
she
I'm
didn't
going to
take
the
it.
barn.
She didn't take it. It's still there.
Right.
Get all hot and ready.
Right. Well, she came to the barn. She's grabbing a couple things, and then she notices the door. Oh, wow. I never noticed that door here before. Carl's like, don't go by the door.
not go by the door.
But see, it would make sense. And I did, my thinking on this was, and he did die down there. And I've always thought his last thought was like, oh, my porn. And it made me think like, if I had a collection like that, and I really don't. Give me a moment. No, I don't have a collection.
No, I don't. Just
Not
checking.
quite like that.
You're just mentally checking.
I'm glad that you double.
Yeah, I wanted to make
double-checked.
sure. But no, I'm trying to think, is there anything I have that I would have to leave a note? Like, I would leave a note for like my friend Dave.
Erase
or
my
brother
browser.
Matt.
Erase my browser
basically
history.
like that. Or like, let's just
Not
see.
you.
Mike's got a stash. Like, there's a letter like, if I die, get this to Danny right away. And then it's like, Danny, come to the barn, burn it down. Or in the middle of the night.
Right. When no one else is around.
When no one else is down.
Yeah.
Like, lure her out.
Don't even look outside for.
I don't even want you to know
I
what's
called
in
an
there,
Uber
Danny.
for her. You are her Uber driver. Set it on fire and go.
Or just break in and steal my epic. Don't look at the non-lubricated condoms that I've used and stuff back in the package. Just take everything out. Leave them there.
This
or if
is
you
a
have
really
time, take them.
detailed will at this point. You know what I mean? It's like you got to have
that's the sort of
footnotes
thing.
and page numbers.
I have my grandfather's rifle from World War II that is not registered. That's the only thing that I was like, oh, I should probably not have that.
I feel like
I'll get
we
in
right
trouble for
we
that.
right now should become porn stash brothers, porn cash brothers.
No.
American
Why?
porn pickers,
No.
where
Well,
we go around from barn to
American
barn.
porn
Yeah.
Okay,
pickers. There you
well,
go.
here's
This is on
something.
Lifetime. It's
So
not on
when-
Discovery.
No, but where my parents where I moved to, there was a woods and a little like Ridgewood Water Company like street where there's a little house with a like a water pump and then the highway. And we used to play hockey back there. We used to shoot bottle rockets over the highway and just do bad things back there. But one time we were trying to build like a tree fort, and there was this one like big tree that is like the stump is sort of like, eaten out by the bugs and stuff. I know I said it like that.
We should just.
I didn't
You said it, but I'm kind of curious where we're going with it.
Yeah,
But,
I
Here's
can
the
see where
thing.
we're going.
Where we're going is that I found someone else's old school porn cache or porn stash
in an eaten out tree.
in an eaten out tree.
That's what
yeah,
see.
I know. I mean, it was perfect.
Well, I found
The
my
reason-
porn.
Sometimes
Hi,
the
Mrs.
words
Verona.
just come out of
Eaten out tree.
Sometimes the words just come out, man, and it works.
In the town.
But it was like it wasn't like normal
Termites eat
porn.
things out.
No,
That's
when you say it was old school, you mean it was like vintage?
It was like it was
on
like
movie
it was
reels?
like 70s
Super 8.
porn magazines, and they were like very like specific like fetish magazines.
Oh, yeah,
I remember
polyester porn,
specifically,
aldehyde porn.
They're like weird like feet fetish stuff and like all sorts of like weird things that we like.
I
At
said
first,
that.
we were all like, "Oh yeah, we found porn," and then we break it out and like. It was like sealed in like a Ziploc, and it was like in the tree.
Wow,
it
you
was like somebody's like actual weathered
weatherproofed it.
stash.
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure somebody used it to deliver a ransom payment and then just left it in the
Maybe.
tree. I'm pretty sure
Could be a
there's
time
no
capsule.
Yeah.
But it was.
a time capsule from the
Maybe
70s.
it's the same guy. I wonder if it's the same guy's
that's-
porn
I don't know.
cache.
He's like
I
the,
mean,
Johnny
maybe,
Appleseed
maybe he
of
had
porn.
family in Jersey. Johnny Pornoseed.
you beat me.
just
Not the correct way of.
Making sure 12-year-olds everywhere find porn in the woods.
well, it was that age where I was dumpster diving for porn at Krauser's at that time. So we were all fucking real psyched about it. And then we opened it up and we're like, oh,
It was
like, it's kind of creepy. And then everything started to like, this is creepy. These woods are kind of creepy. Whose is this?
You're creepy.
Yeah, you're creepy. You're creepy because you're still looking at it, John. Like, stop looking at it.
John. It's so John. It's a great time, though, to find out you don't have a foot fetish when you're like 10 or 12. And you're like,
Right.
this magazine just isn't for me. What else we got?
Yeah, what else we got there?
Until you find your own.
Let's dig a little deeper.
Yeah.
It's just, oh,
I'm a...
okay.
Let's hope the termites ate out a little deeper. maybe there's a gold box.
They have an appetite for pulp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not bad. That's a good one.
Good one.
Well, I think that we should help destroy
we can definitely
what's
destroy.
left of the.
You want to adjourn to the barn and maybe play a little more Gauntlet and
I think so.
burn down some.
We'll do a little bonus audio, maybe of the
Yeah, maybe
the
we'll
burning
do.
process.
Maybe we'll do a little field work.
But before that, what kind of plugs?
We
got?
know
What
that
do you,
Carl has some plugs.
Oh, you definitely have.
He's
some
got
plugs.
plugs.
I don't have any... I don't...
No, something in Indiana, perhaps.
No, I got
That you're-
nothing.
Some open mic you're perhaps hosting across the river in Kentucky.
Do you know
No,
Miguel
I do-
Dalmau?
Huh?
He's a stand-up. Miguel, is that how you say his last name?
Yeah.
He's in Indiana.
No, he's not. He's in Philadelphia.
Oh, he moved. Never mind. He left Indiana for Philadelphia.
Okay, forget that, Carl.
No, I
cut
really
that
don't
out.
have any plugs. Just
Twitter?
say hi to me if you see me. Yeah, I'm on Twitter. If you can spell my name, you can find me on Twitter.
Which I can't.
Yeah.
If you have the courage to disobey orders in Vietnam, you can find Carl's. You can spell Carl's name.
And you can find his uncle's book.
Marcus.
Neil Sheehan's book, The Arnheiter Affair, that I have absolutely no connection with whatsoever.
Marcus
But he'll sign it
Aurelius
anyway.
No.
Arnheiter.
Marcus Aurelius
Arnheiter.
Arnheiter. Arnheiter is German for... sure, I'd love to spell that for you. It's really that's what it
It means, yeah. It's called The People Behind Me in Line.
Yeah, it's always with a sigh. Yeah. I just spell it instead of say it to people when they ask.
I have that Balin thing where people were like, "Oh, it's Balin." That's the normal. Mike even called me Balin for years until he was corrected.
They called you Shit Can.
Well, shit can Balin. That's the nickname.
Yeah.
Shit
Shit
can
can
Ballin.
Lord Shit Can Ballin, I think it was.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I've never been more in the mood to light up some porn. I think maybe we should head out to the barn.
The traditional way to view it.
To burn some mouse turds and floral foam. And
Yeah. Oh no, the floral foam is gone, right?
That's gone.
Long gone.
that's
I don't know how it doesn't
long gone.
chip away. Like one wrong thrust, and it's like it's like a bowling ball of.
Well, I didn't see it back in the day, but it was pretty sturdy when it.
sturdy stuff.
It was like reinforced.
From the inside of a
Look,
hazmat suit,
it
looked
wasn't
pretty strong.
used. He bought the freshies, so they weren't first seeped in water.
I just thought he had like a
Yeah.
collection of like, Silence of the Lambs style or something like, or like Game of Thrones faces on the wall where it's like, this is Genevieve and this is.
No, maybe. I don't know.
They weren't like simulated vaginas. They were just holes.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they're both.
It was
Yes.
both, really.
Yes.
Jeremy's discussion of plugs has gotten
Giorgio
a lot
O'Keeffe
worse the last
style.
few weeks.
His floral
I want to plug.
floral foam was used in the most Giorgio O'Keeffe
His
way.
plug descent.
this is.
It was very, yeah. There was something so artistic about the work out there.
And
I
yet
should've
provocative at the same
kept-
time.
It was folk art, really, and I don't know why I just threw it in a dump.
I mean,
It
that's
was folk art.
The closest I've come to it is when Dave Hill we did 2 shows in Sing Sing Penitentiary, and I went along with him. And he wrote about it in his book, but I don't think he wrote about it, but they make in prison, they make something called a Fifi bag. And there was a guy at the prison there, he ran the rec department, and his name was Big Lou.
Okay.
And you would get a clear trash bag from Big Lou. And what they would do is they all had hand lotion that they would put in their slow cookers or like crock pots to warm them up. And they would lay down the bag, and then they would put a towel on it. Yeah, that's how. Oh, so yeah, the towel, the bag was on
First.
top of the towel.
Yeah.
Then the warm hand lotion was applied, and then it was rolled up into a tube, and it was called a Fifi.
Wow.
And we learned about this when
Hands-on experience.
I never saw one.
He never had to make his own.
I never made my. All these years later, and I still haven't made one.
Well, there's porn magazines we could roll.
I'm going to do that tonight, I guess. But but yeah, so that they talked about it. It's like legendary there. But you just go to Lou and be like, "Hey, Lou, can I have a bag?"
Wow.
And it was like state sanctioned, like Yeah, go for it. Here's your bag. I got a lot of stuff to throw out today, Lou. I don't know what there's like there's no other excuse.
Got to clean it up around the cell a lot, you know.
Just tidying it up, you know.
Just 8 by 8.
Tuesday.
Victoria's Secret ad blew up on the window again.
These stone walls don't clean themselves, Lou. I got some work to do. Also, I need hand lotion.
That was a really graphic,
Also, how many cigarettes for some hand lotion?
a really graphic plug, Carl, but it's an unforgettable plug.
I can't
all the
believe I'm in
same.
debt over hand lotion. That would have been like the way. The other thing they told us, they both said, Dave was like, how long do we have in here? And this guy, one of the inmates, like looked us over and he's like, a week tops. And we were like, yeah, that's probably
You'll never
right.
make it.
Yeah, we wouldn't have made it.
Wow.
But I can see myself going into debt for hand lotion. I'd be in somebody's
man.
service for...
I feel like if you're the
That's an emo
family
band
of
name,
the-
Dead for Hand Lotion.
I'm free, but I
Panic
owe
at the
someone.
Disco, and
I'm free, but I owe someone 10,000 cigarettes. I'm free.
You'd be free, but you'd never really be free
Yeah.
because that would always be followed.
Over your head, yeah.
Every waking thought of me would be like,
Remember when I fifi'd?
I can't believe this is my life.
I miss Fifi.
Tit and lotion in the Fifi bags.
I could.
They're opening for Fits in the Tantrums.
I'm going to start a band. Yeah. Just to name it the K and the Fifi bags.
Yeah, this is the best plug section of our
This
podcast
might
ever.
definitely. That's great.
Well, thank you for your plugs, Carl.
Read
and
the book I'm writing that no one will ever read, and
but we're going to read it.
watch an opioid-induced constipation commercial and think of me. I might have had a hand in it. But don't say that.
It's a weird.
It's a weird plug.
I might have had a hand up in it.
I may have had a hand in helping.
Helping it all come down.
These are things I've done. So yeah, those are my plugs. Thank
These
you
are
for that
the things
opportunity.
I've done.
To plug
These
up.
are the things I've done.
Major maximum security correctional facility
Yep,
in the
yep,
Hudson Valley
yep.
and opioid-induced constipation.
Carl, thanks so much. You've been a very gracious host
Yeah.
with all this.
Thank you.
Thanks for
information
having
and-
us. The food,
Travel
everything.
safely to
Yep.
Indiana.
Thanks. Travel safely home.
We'll catch you. We'll catch you in your new state.
Well, I still will also. Yeah, thank you. That's kind.
But you'll be coming back here. Is what
Yeah,
you're
all
saying?
the time.
We like that too.
Good.
Nice, nice. In the city.
Oh, good.
You can listen to a lot of our podcasts
I know,
as
on
you
the
drive,
drive.
across the expanse.
You will not-
range.
exactly
you-
10 for my
I'll
drive.
need 10 to
for you.
Cincinnati and then 3 more to get the rest.
There you
of
go.
the way.
Lucky for you, we've been
pick
recording
13
every
we'll
week.
Pick, we'll
Yeah.
pick
I know.
lucky 13 good ones for you.
I know. I'm going to do 37 of them on the way back.
We'll put it on a cassette tape or something.
Thanks, Carl.
Thank you.
Thanks, Carl. The Adventures of Danny and Mike stars Danny Tamborelli and Michael C. Morona. The show is produced by Jeremy Balin. The podcast is part of the Feral Audio Podcasting Collective and can be found on their website at feralaudio.com. For more information on the guys, visit our website at dannyandmike.com. Also, look us up on Twitter at Danny and Mike with the and spelled out, and on Facebook at facebook.com/The Adventures of Danny and Mike. Thanks for listening.